Hey friends, and welcome back to Stronger Every Day. I don't know if you noticed, I changed the title of my channel. I just felt like I was taking it in a new direction from where that channel had been. So it's now Stronger Every Day, which is what I feel and what my hope and prayer is that you feel. Today we are going to talk about fighting depression at its onset. So in the background, just as a quick heads up, you're going to see we have fur babies. You're going to see them in and out of the picture. That's just part of filming in a home, not a live studio. I also changed the angle, so we're going to see if I like this better, if it comes across better on camera, or if I need to find a new location. That is also difficult with fur babies. So stand by and let's get started. So we're going to talk about fighting depression at its onset, which is so important when you struggle with depression and anxiety, is when you first realize those thoughts coming in your head, that you stop and you go in the opposite direction. Because the more you let yourself fall, the deeper and deeper you get, and it's harder to come out. So there's one quote, and I don't know who said it, but I have this written in my notebook, and it says, "You have a blood-bought, Christ-paid-for, God-ordained right to enjoy every single moment of your lives." To me, I can't tell you what that's done for me. It makes me angry that I've allowed the devil to basically control my mind my entire life, and I've never resisted him, and he's just over there laughing it up, having a big old time, and God is over here saying, "Hey, I'm here for you. I want to help you. You know, listen, talk to me, come to me, and we'll make things better." And I didn't see that that was an option. The thoughts wouldn't stop, the feelings wouldn't stop, everything that goes along with depression wouldn't stop. So I want to talk about ways to, if you struggle with depression and anxiety or any mental illness, typically there's good periods and then bad periods. And for me, those bad times got longer and harder to fight each cycle. So what I have done recently in the past 5 months is, when I recognize either something that is a trigger, or something that's bad news, or something that can send me in a spiral from patterns before that I stop and I change my whole approach, so that I don't get into that place that then I am basically stuck in and having to fight even harder to get out. So I have a couple things to help you recognize when depression and anxiety and mental illness is starting to come for you. So first and foremost, the way that I fight it in the very beginning is, okay, you have something happen, whether it's a trigger or a tragedy or a inconvenience or something that typically sends you down. You know right then that your mind is having all these thoughts. Well, you could have done better. You should have reached out to them more. You should have done more. You're a bad person. You're a bad worker. You're lazy. You're worthless. You're pathetic. Nobody wants to be around you. Nobody loves you. Life will be better without you. All of those thoughts that come in, stop. You don't have to focus on those thoughts. Stop and put another thought in. I can tell you, November is a difficult month for me. It's my mom, it's her birthday. It's also the month that she passed away. We've also lost 3 fur babies in that month. It's just a difficult month. The only positive things really to November would be Thanksgiving, and it's my dad's birthday. So those 2 things make me look forward to November, but I always know ahead of time that I'm going to have some resistance there, some triggers that are going to spark me. So when the bad thoughts start coming in my mind of, this is going to be a bad month, you know, every November is a bad month. No, this is going to be a good month. God loves me. My family loves me. we have things to celebrate this month, I'm going to change my thinking. If it's the month that I know Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's are all hard times for people, it's not always a joyous occasion, and there's a lot of times that there's a lot of mental illness that reaches its peak. Stop those thoughts and change your thoughts to something more positive, whatever that looks like for you. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. You may have to change your thoughts multiple times, but stop them. You don't have to think about every single thought and follow it down the depression rabbit hole. You can stop it and change your thoughts. Like I said, there's times that I've laid in bed that the devil is attacking me, and I stop and just say, repeat Jesus over and over and over again. I just repeat his name, or I repeat a verse, or I put on a teaching and listen to it, so that my mind is forced to focus on something else, and I am not allowing the devil to have a heyday, knowing that he's just loving it, that I'm miserable. Why? Just, you can stop it. It is difficult. It is, the longer you've had to struggle with it, to me, the harder it's been to stop it, and I still have days that I have to actively fight. It's an ongoing thing, but it's getting better and better and better each day. The second thing, don't allow, it kind of goes with the first, don't allow yourself to focus on the negative. So our truck was having an issue, and it ended up being the torque converter, which could affect the transmission. And so it went from where we thought it was going to be a $1,500 fix to a possibly $5,200 fix to a $4,000 fix to, it ended up being about $2,300. So I could have focused on the negative and said, well, we might as well just go ahead and pay the $5,200 and have the transmission replaced. We didn't know that anything was wrong with the transmission. It seemed to be fine. It seemed to honestly just be the torque converter. And I felt my emotion coming up of, it's around Christmas, we're gonna have to drop all this money, we're gonna have to do this, we're gonna have to do that. And I stopped myself and said, no ma'am. There was a time not too far ago that a $1,500 fix or a $5,200 fix, we had no way to pay for that. I don't know what we would have done back then in that situation, because we had no savings, no anything to pay for said problem. Like I said, whether it be a $500 fix or a $5,500 fix, we had no way to pay for that. We have since gotten a little bit more financially stable, and we could pay for that. Do I want to do that? No, but we could pay for that. Blessing number one. Blessing number two is, when I spoke to the mechanic, he said, we were a little worried that you were going to have issues, but when we checked, literally, your transmission was clean. The oil, the fluid that was in there, clean. The magnet, clean. Everything we looked at was clean. The fluid that was coming out was just as good as the fluid we were putting in. That's how great of condition your transmission was in. Where the devil wanted us to be in fear that the transmission was going to go. It was pointless to replace the torque converter, and it all worked out. I changed my thinking, and I did not allow myself to worry about that situation. And guess what? God handled it. It's little baby steps that make the difference. And to be 100% honest, even if he would have said, look, we got under there, the transmission's a mess, the magnet has shavings, the oil's black, everything's bad, we need to replace the transmission, I wouldn't have wanted to have to take that extra money out to have that done. God still was in control. He still was in control. I changed my thought process. I changed my thinking, and it made it better. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. The next thing is, go ahead and have, in your good times, go ahead and have either a song or a movie or multiple songs or worship songs or scriptures or whatever it is that makes you feel better. Have those on standby so that when you start feeling down, right then. Go to that praise and worship music. Go to that music that makes you feel good. Go to that person who makes you laugh. Watch that movie that makes you laugh. Read those scriptures. Whatever it is that fights and you recognize, maybe you're humming, or maybe you're singing, or you're laughing. Do whatever you can do to make yourself laugh. Have those things ready to go so that when something happens, you've already started to fight it before it even happens. Don't wait until you're in bed for 4 days and you haven't showered and you haven't brushed your teeth and you're hurting and you feel bad and you have a headache and you're having all these thoughts of all these negative things. Don't wait until you're at that point and then have to try to dig yourself out. If you're standing in an area and it's starting to flood and you go down an inch, step out of it. Don't wait. Don't just stand there and wait until it's a trench, a 10-foot hole, and then you're having to look up to figure out how you're going to get out. Step out of it when it's an inch deep. Don't wait until you fall even further to get out of it. The next one is force yourself out. What I tend to do when I am depressed or having anxiety is I withdraw. So I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be around people. Some of that is because I'm barely holding on and I can't handle outside issues. I can't handle that you're having a bad day, or you're having a bad day, or the attitude from the clerk, or the cut me off in traffic, or the external things around me. I can't handle those. Sometimes you need to give yourself grace just to realize it's too much today. I just need to be with myself, get myself realigned, get myself refocused, and then tomorrow I'll get out. But don't allow yourself to just withdraw away from everybody and everything for days, weeks, and months on end. Force yourself, even if you don't want to be around people, force yourself to walk to the mailbox. Force yourself to take a shower. Force yourself to walk down the block. Force yourself to go talk to somebody that you know knows you, and they actually know the truth about you, not the pretend you that you've put out there for other people to believe that you're happy and butterflies are wonderful and you walk in a ray of sunshine everywhere you go. The real you. They know you. They know your struggles. And be around those people. Make yourself do it. It's hard. I'm preaching to myself here. It's hard. Just the other day, I was wrapping Christmas presents. And my anxiety was flaring just from, I don't like a lot of clutter. So there was boxes and toys and gifts and wrapping paper and boxes and tape and scissors and all of the stuff that goes with wrapping. And it was overwhelming to me that I had all this. And then I said, no. Because there was a time that we couldn't afford those Christmas presents. There was a time we couldn't afford that wrapping paper. There was a time that we rationed peanut butter sandwiches once a day, and sometimes I didn't even eat because my husband's job was more strenuous, so I let him have the sandwich and I just went without. God gave us the ability to buy those Christmas presents, and you're not going to take the joy away from me. So we got them wrapped. I realized that I needed to get them out just to clear my space and clear my mind. We took some up to my in-laws, which is where we end up celebrating our Christmas, and then we took some to other locations where we had just bought little things for friends and family, and so we dropped those off. I got them all out of the house and it was much better, but I had to make myself stop. I had to change my thoughts and say, no, this is a gift. You actually got to get these things to give to people, and it's a pleasure and it's a joy, and you're not going to let the devil rob you from it. The next thing, move your body. I am fully aware of how difficult that is when you feel like crud. We are talking about stopping things at their onset. So instead of saying, okay, I'm on the couch, I'm not moving, I'm staying here, even if you don't want to be out in public, walk around your house. Walk outside and walk down your steps. If you live on property, walk around your property. If you have a treadmill, get on the treadmill for 2, 3, 4 minutes. Don't just get under a blanket and just hibernate. There are times that you need that. Make yourself move your body. Fight what your mind is telling you, which is to withdraw, just get away from everyone, stay in bed, don't move, and stop, break that cycle, and change. I know that it's difficult. 27 years I have suffered with depression and anxiety. I know what I'm telling you is difficult. I also know that what I'm telling you has made night and day difference in my life. I have went from literally asking God, why are you allowing me to still be alive and have to live like this and deal with this, to I have joy. I have joy. Do I have bad days? Yes, we just talked about that I had some anxiety about the wrapping the presents, but I have joy. 27 years, I have never been able to say that. And I have it now. So what I'm telling you is not just words spewing out, or the top 10 ways to do this, top 50 ways to feel this, try this, try that. This is what has actually worked from someone who has suffered with the same things that you're suffering with. I am fully aware they're not easy, but I'm also fully aware that if you want to get better, you can do it. This was literally my last stitch effort, and I've thrown everything that I can at it, and it has helped. It will help you. Another thing that I do, I know that we are called to love people. When you have depression and anxiety, stay away from toxic people. That can be friends, it can be family, it can be coworkers, anyone that is toxic and makes you cringe just to be around them, makes you feel bad about yourself just to be around them, makes you question yourself, your life, your family, everything about you when you're around them. You can love people from afar. We are called to love each other. But you can love that person from afar. You can pray for that person. You can love that person. You can ask God if there's anything that you can do to help that person. He is not going to punish you for loving someone from afar. When you have depression and anxiety, your mind cannot function or handle all the negative from a toxic person. Stay away from them. Just stay away. Love them from afar. If they really love you, they will realize when you're withdrawn from them that you need space and you're healing. And if they really love you, they're going to give that to you. And if they don't, another thing, love them from afar. I have people in my life like that. I love them. I will do anything that they need. I pray for them. I don't talk about them. I pray for them, and I've asked God to show me if there's something I can do to help them. But as far as talking to them daily, weekly, monthly, or being around them, they're not someone I want to share my time with. They bring me down. They affect my mental health. They affect my heart. They affect my body. And I don't think they're trying to do this. They're not bad people. They just have issues as well. But you have to recognize that you have to get away from that, especially when you're having depression and anxiety, when you're in the beginning stages of it, when you're in another round of it. Stay away from them. Love yourself enough to love them to stay away. Another thing is rest, which it's hard when you have depression and anxiety, because you do one of two things. You either sleep all the time, and typically it's not quality rest, mainly because you just don't want to be awake. You don't want to be awake to feel everything that's going on. You don't want to be awake to have to deal with circumstances, so you would just withdraw into sleep, or you can't sleep. Mine can go both ways. So there's days that I did not want to be awake. I didn't want to have to deal with life. I didn't want to have to deal with people. I didn't want to have to know anything. I honestly didn't want to. I'm trying to think of a polite way to say this. I didn't want to be conscious to even know that anything was going on. There's also times when I don't go to sleep. I may sleep 2 hours a day. And you can only do the best you can do. So make smart decisions. Don't maybe lay off caffeine after dinner. Maybe don't eat sweets and chocolate after dinner. Maybe don't drink coffee late. Maybe for you it looks like putting down your phone, turning off the TV, putting down your computer, your iPad, your note, whatever. Whatever those look like, you know how to help yourself. And maybe it's talking to your doctor about taking something for sleep. Maybe it's something natural you can do, like Calm, maybe, or melatonin. Maybe, sorry I keep looking, but I've not looked out this way before. I mean, I do when I'm not with you, but there's like all these things kind of going on. Whatever rest looks like for you. Maybe if you typically have 30 different things that you have to get done in a week, maybe you give yourself a little grace and only do 20 of those. Whatever that looks like for you. But allow your body to rest and recoup. You think so much clearer when you have rested. I know my husband has been working 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week this month, trying to get caught up on things, and it's very evident that his mind, he's tired, he's exhausted, he can't think clearly. There's things that he can't process normally. There's things that normally he could have done in a minute, and now he's having to really think about them. It's so much so that I don't even discuss important things with him until the weekend, because usually Saturday and Sunday he's a little bit more clear. So rest is huge to nourish and just take care of your body. The next thing is stay away from the news and social media. Rarely ever is there a feel-good story on the news. Rarely ever is there real life on social media. I was scrolling through Facebook, I think it was yesterday, it might have been this morning, and a friend of mine had posted an article where someone had mistreated an animal, and it looked very gruesome. And I know that will upset me. I know that will mess with me mentally. I know that I'll get fired up, I'll get angry, I'll be mad, I'll be irritated, all of the things that you feel when an injustice has happened, and I just scrolled on past. Know yourself enough to know that right now is not the right time to jump on social media. Right now is not the right time to look at what people have put on social media, which is their best moments or their best seconds, and you think that their life is perfect, when probably to take said picture, they were in an argument about angles and about lighting and about clothing and about smile and about do this. Just stay away for a day, a week, a month, however long you need to. If you just need to get on a device, look up uplifting stories. Type in the search, uplifting stories, and find something that's positive. Otherwise, just stay away from it. And if there's an article or a rant or whatever that you know is going to bring up some not pleasant emotions, just skip right past it. Don't pay attention to it. Another thing is, and this should be a fairly obvious one, stay away from drugs and alcohol. When you're depressed and have anxiety, I think a lot of people gravitate towards one or the other or both. So, and by drugs, I'm not talking about just illegal drugs. For me, which is hard during allergy season, I cannot take antihistamine. So it gets difficult when I'm sneezing and coughing my head off because I can't take, say, a Benadryl or any antihistamine. I have to choose something else because it interacts with my medicine. I can't take like a NyQuil when I'm sick because it interacts with my medicine. Even things to help you sleep, don't take a handful of them when it calls for one. And obviously alcohol, I've struggled with that in the past with alcohol, and what I can tell you is this: in the moment, you feel better because it's essentially stopping your mind from racing, and it's numbing you. And if you're around other people, you're probably having a good time, but it's essentially numbing your mind, numbing the pain. It's dulling everything down where you're not actively having to deal with it. And yes, sometimes that feels, you think, yeah, that's going to feel great. That's what I want to do. Here's the thing, is when that buzz and drunkenness wears off, you've been detrimental to your mental health. In effect, you've taken a bad situation and made it worse. So stay away from illegal drugs, alcohol, and drugs that can interact with your medicine. And if you don't know what those drugs that can interact with your medicine are, talk with your doctor. There's medicines for migraines, because I have migraines. There's medicine for migraines I can't take because it interacts with my medicine. So talk to your doctor, get knowledge, understand what over-the-counter medicines that are going to interact, and give yourself the best chance of being healthy. The last one I have on here is to eat clean. Again, you've heard me say this, we're not fanatical about this, but we try to eat organic and non-processed foods as much as possible. I can tell it makes a difference mentally and physically for me. Cutting out sugar, that's Stella. Cutting out sugar, cutting out junk, cutting out fast food, cutting out, or even if you go to fast food, even if you run to fast food, research ahead of time options that are healthier. So maybe instead of getting a triple-decker hamburger, I don't know, I don't eat meat, maybe you get a grilled chicken sandwich and skip the fries or the onion rings. And maybe you get a pasta dish, but instead of getting fettuccine alfredo, you get spaghetti with marinara. Research what that looks like for you. There's different places that offer different things. I'm not going to go into all that. I don't know what you like, what you don't like, but eat healthier, eat clean. The point of food is to fuel your body. It's not to make you feel good. It's not to give you warm fuzzy feelings. Food is to fuel your body, your mind, and keep you healthy. It is not to have warm fuzzy, ooh, that was so ooey and gooey and chocolatey and caramelly and salty and this and that and buttery. That's not what it's about. It's to fuel your body. So find foods that do that for you. I'm fully aware that grocery prices are crazy and that organic is even more expensive. There's all kinds of knowledge on the internet about, if you can't buy everything organic, try to buy these organic. Try to buy this organic. This is probably okay this way. Plant a garden. We're going to be doing that. I have a second channel and we're going to be doing our first garden ever and walking through that whole process. So I hope some of these help. I think you probably know most of them, but maybe it helps to hear someone who's actually went through what you're going through. I get what you're going through. I know what you're going through. I've been there and done that multiple times over 27 years. I've been as low as you can possibly get, and I'm not going to do that. anymore. I am not going to let myself go there again. Guys, thank you so much for joining the channel today. I hope this has helped. We will see you again soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful Christmas, wonderful weekend, and a happy new year. And like I said, we'll see you again next time before the new year. But if you don't see the next video, understand this: you are loved. I love you. God loves you. Your family loves you. Your friends love you. And you are needed here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.